You know what? I really don't know where I want to go at with this review, but I think that I'm gonna break it all down, and that's why we're going to get into this review right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. Today, we're reviewing the film Offseason, which made its world premiere at South by Southwest this year. Now, if you've been a fan of my channel, you know I love horror, and you know, once again, if there's a horror film, especially if it's making its premiere at South by Southwest, I gotta see what it's all about. But to be honest, upon knowing that it was a horror film, I really don't know what drew me to wanting to watch this immediately, because there's a abundance of films premiering, but you know, you got to kind of be selective and pick what you got time to see. And I don't know, was it the graphic or the synopsis, but either way, I really had no clue what drew me to this, yet alone I never knew how similar this film is to something else I really appreciate, which I'll get to in a second. But the synopsis reads: after receiving a mysterious letter, a woman travels to a desolate island town and soon becomes trapped in a nightmare. So with that being said, because I need to add some more stuff to that. When she goes to this town, she goes to visit her mom's grave and she realizes the headstone is damaged. So she looks for help. And upon looking for help, she notices that a bunch of weird things are all happening. Yet she's on a race against the clock, because once that drawbridge goes up, she's stuck in this town. And she realizes that the town she's in also happens to be the town that her mom had warned her about never going to. Never and don't stay, and all types of warning. She told her many stories about this, and she's starting to put all the pieces together and realizing that she needs to get out of Dodge right now. So what this is really similar to is the franchise Silent Hill. Essentially, once that bridge goes up, this place turns into cuckoo land. Everything changes. It gets really foggy. The townspeople start disappearing and or acting weird. And there's monsters, there's all sort of type of things going on like that. Which, if you love that franchise, then like you're going to absolutely see a lot of the parallels between the two. I won't go any further about comparing it, but like there's definitely parallels between the two, between the two projects. But nonetheless, her mom warnings was, you know, pretty much that this town is occupied by a ton of people in a cult who made a deal with the devil and so on. I'm gonna leave it at that. Nonetheless, if this all sounds intriguing to you, then cool, but it just doesn't deliver ultimately in every department. I think I just needed more. Like the acting was good, but not great. The suspense was good, but not great. The horror was okay, but not great. And like everything that was going on, even some of the weird, you know, the some of the characters who really like, you know, had potential to being something totally interesting, really didn't deliver. There was just a lot of like, okay, give me more. And I don't know. And again, like I didn't love this film, but I didn't hate it, but I just wanted more, because I just felt like everything that it was building towards really never resulted into something more, I don't know, satisfying, shall I say. Because even the ending, I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe we can do something more with this film, or a sequel or something. And I think that's fine if you want to do a sequel, but I think you got to get the audience knowing that, like, I'm totally invested to seeing another one instead of another one coming. It's like, oh yeah, I'll check it out. And I thought that if you build the foundation here with the first one, then you could do whatever you want in the future. But I, you know, again, just in every single department, I would have wanted more. I thought the low light shooting with cinematography was great, but I still could have used a lot more of that. I thought that even building up the horror, I could have did more. And also, ultimately, the biggest thing is, although the performances I thought were solid, I like to be a little bit more connected with your protagonist, so that I know that they're fearful, so that I can be fearful, and that just ultimately builds the horror. And I felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect there, because I wasn't ultimately ever really scared for them, shall I say. So, I don't know. With this film, I think it's just one that is probably going to connect really well with some people, and then there will be people like me that's like, all right, that was cool, but I definitely would have liked a lot more, because there was no expectations into this at all. I went into this thinking like, all right, I thought that sounds cool. Let's see what it's about. So I think that me saying that I'm a little unsatisfied doesn't really suffice. It's just the idea that based on what I seen, I would have definitely wanted more with it. But anyway, this is Off Season. It made its world premiere at South by Southwest this year. Definitely check it out. Let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, folks, stay tuned for more reviews.